Hi guys, welcome to my next tutorial. Today I would like to show you how to crochet the beautiful bag with a flower and two straps or two handles. This flower is a gardenia flower. You can find the video tutorial on my channel. So if you would like to make the same, just go on my channel or under the tutorial in the comments we've got the link for this tutorial as well. Also you can find on my channel other patterns for the flowers, for roses and many more, so go there and check what you can find. Also you will need crochet hook 4mm and two different colors of DK yarn, or if you would like to you can make it in one color, will be perfect as well. Our bag, we need to start by making slip knot and then chain of 45. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44 and 45. Now into the second chain from the hook, so here we've got first and now is the second. We will start working first single crochet and then in each chain we need to work one single crochet to the end of our round. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we need to repeat making one single crochet in each stitch. At the end of our row we should have 44 single crochets, and now we are into the last chain. So after the last single crochet into the same last chain we need to add two more single crochets, 1 and 2. So basically into the last chain we've done 3 single crochets, and now we are going into the next stitch just right here, and we will start working single crochet on the opposite side as well. So in each stitch we need to make one single crochet again. Okay, so continue to the end of row. At the end of our round we need to make the last 2 single crochets into the same stitch as we've done the first single crochet. So in each side we need to work 3 single crochets at the beginning and at the end. So now we should have 90 single crochets all the way around. Then we will work slip stitch into the first single crochet. After the slip stitch we will work 2 single crochets into the same stitch as we've done slip stitch, and after the first one we need to mark that stitch to remember where we actually started, and I will be using different color of yarn. So we've done 1 and 2. So now on the corner in each of the 3 stitches we will work 2 double crochets, 2 single crochets. So now into the first one I've done 2 single crochets. Now in each stitch we will work 1 single crochet until the next stitch where we was working 3 single crochets. So 1 stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Now I am at the end and I've got 3 single crochets in 1 stitch. So this is the first one. I've done 1 single crochet already, then second and no, this is the first one, second and then the third. So into the first I will work 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Into the second 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and into the third 2 single crochets. So in each of those 3 stitches I've done 2 single crochets. Now in each stitch we need to work 1 single crochet until we will have the last 2 stitches before our stitch marker. So this is the first stitch where we start working 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then we need to make 1 single crochet until the last 2 stitches. Into the last 2 stitches we need to make 2 single crochets in 1 into the same stitch again. So now I've got the last 2 stitches and I will work 2 single crochets in each stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. So now all the way around we should have 96 single crochets. Slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1, and into the same stitch as we've done slip stitch again we need to make 2 single crochets. 1 after the first one we will mark that stitch, and then another one. Now we've got stitch where we've done another 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So into the next 2 stitches we will work 2 single crochets in each stitch, 1 and 2. Now we need to work 1 single crochet in each stitch until we will have the next 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So we are going all the way around and we need to find first single crochet where we was working 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So I've got here 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So into the next 6 stitches at the end we will work 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. But now until those stitches we need to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so I found my first 2 stitches in 1 stitch, and into the first we need to make 2 single crochets. And now to make sure that we are starting in right place, we can mark that stitch. So now we know that this is actually the first stitch where we are working increase. So into the first stitch 2 single crochets, into the second stitch 2 single crochets, into the third stitch 2 single crochets, into the fourth 2 single crochets, 1 2 3 4, into the fifth 2 single crochets, and into the sixth 2 single crochets as well, 1 and 2. And now again we need to repeat making 1 single crochet in each stitch until the last 4 stitches. Because at the beginning of our round we work 2 single crochets into the first 2 stitches, so now we need to count 4 stitches from the back. This is a slip stitch, so this stitch is not count, so we need to count 1 2 3 and 4. So the really last stitch is our slip stitch and we need to skip that stitch. And now we are working 1 single crochet in each stitch. I've done 2 single crochets into the last 4 stitches, so now we have to make slip stitch into the first single crochet. Now single crochet into that first stitch, we need to mark this as the first one, and at the end of our round we should have 110 single crochets all the way around. Now we will work 1 single crochet in each stitch until we will have the center stitch just on the opposite side. So if you are not sure which one is a center one, you can fold your work and you can find the center stitch. So 1 stitch before the center one we will work 2 single crochets until that stitch 1 single crochet in each stitch. Into the center we will work 3 single crochets, and into the next one 2 single crochets, and then again 1 single crochet in each stitch until the next 2. So what we will do, this will be the center one, so here we need to work 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, then another 2 single crochets, and here we've got slip stitch, so again we need to skip that stitch. But at the moment we are working 1 single crochet in each stitch. So as I said, 1 stitch before the center one we need to make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, then into the center 3 single crochets, 1 2 and 3, and into the next one 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Then again we need to make 1 single crochet in each stitch until we will have the last 3 stitches. So we need to work into the last 3 stitches the same. Don't forget we are not counting slip stitch. So 1 2 and 3, and now 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I've done into the last stitch 2 single crochets, into the second from the end 3, and into the third from the end another 2. So now all the way around we should have 118 stitches. Slip stitch into the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in each stitch until the center one. So after the first one we will put marker stitch again, and in each stitch 1 single crochet until we will have the center one. Into the center one we will work 2 single crochets in one stitch. Now I've got my center stitch, so as I said, I will do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Then again we need to start working 1 single crochet in each stitch until we will have the next center one. So basically that be 1, 2, 3. This will be third or fourth, that depends on which one would like to, but I will do just here, so that will be third stitch from the end. So now at the end of our round we should have 120 single crochets. Now at the end of our round we need to make slip stitch into just first stitch, and now we can fasten off and cut the yarn. So as I said, we should have 120 single crochets. So just remember, we are not counting this stitch. I will be hiding this tail a little bit. And now we need to join our yarn into the center stitch. And then we need to work chain of 3, 1, 2, 3 as a first double crochet, then chain of 2 as a chain 2 space. Then we need to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into the 5th we need to start making V-stitch, so double crochet, chain of 2 and double crochet. Then chain of 2, we need to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then into the 5th we will work V-stitch again, double crochet, chain 2 and then double crochet. Another chain of 2, we need to skip the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, into the 5th V-stitch, double crochet, chain 2 and then double crochet, chain of 2. So now we need to repeat this pattern all the way around to the last stitch just here. So each time we need to skip 4 stitches, and into the 5th we will work V-stitch, so double crochet, chain 2 and then double crochet, and after that chain of 2. Now, as I said, the last V-stitch we need to work into the first stitch as we've done chain of 5. So what we are going to do, after the last V-stitch we've done chain of 2, and now into that stitch we need to work 1 double crochet, and then into the top of chain 3, so into the double crochet 1, 2 and 3, we need to make half double crochet. So now we've got our chain 2 space and another V-stitch. Now we are exactly into the center of the first V-stitch. Into that V-stitch we need to make slip stitch, or even no, because no, we don't need to make slip stitch. We need to start making chain of 3. 1, 2 and 3, and then this will be our double crochet of the next V-stitch. We are going straight to the next one, and into the next V-stitch we will work 2 treble crochets, so 1 and 2, then chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the first chain, so we are working picot now, 2 more treble crochets, 1 and 2, now chain of 2, 1 and 2, into the same chain space we need to work 2 more treble crochets, so 1, 2, chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the first chain to make picot, and another 2 treble crochets. One and 2. So into the one V-stitch we've done 4 treble crochets. Between group of 2 treble crochets we've done picot, chain of 2, another 2 treble crochets, picot and 2 treble crochets. Now we are going into the next V-stitch, and into that V-stitch we need to work another V-stitch. So double crochet, chain of 2 and then double crochet. Into the next V-stitch we need to repeat what we've done here. So 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2, chain of 3, slip stitch into the first chain, another 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2, chain of 2, 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2, chain of 3, 2 more treble crochets, 1 and 2. Now into the next V-stitch we need to work another V-stitch, so double crochet, chain of 2 and double crochet. So now we need to repeat this pattern all the way around. So into the first V-stitch we need to work shell, I will call it shell, into the second V-stitch, so exactly the same as we've done here, and then I will show you what we have to do at the end of our round. At the end of our round we need to make double crochet into the stitch where we start working chain of 5, so exactly into that stitch, and then half double crochet into the first chain, 1, 2 and 3, so basically into the top of the double crochet, half double crochet. So now we are in the center of V-stitch again. Chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then chain of 2 as a chain 2 space, and now we are going to the first chain 2 space just here, and we need to work V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 2 and then double crochet. Now chain of 2, we are going to the next V-stitch and we need to make V-stitch again. Double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet. Then chain of 2 again, 1 and 2, into the next chain 2 space we will work V-stitch again, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, then chain of 2. So now into the each chain of 2 and each V-stitch from the previous round we will work V-stitch. So we need to make actually V-stitches all the way around, and after each V-stitch we will work chain of 2. So then at the end of our round we need to finish exactly the same as we finished just the previous round. So the last double crochet into the same stitch as we start our round, then slip stitch into the top of chain 3, then so 1, 2 and 3 just here, not slip stitch, half double crochet exactly as here. So now we know how we need to finish the rounds, and after this row with all V-stitches we need to repeat the previous round and this round one more time. So this is the first row of our pattern and this is the second row of our pattern. Then we need to make 2 more rows, and each row we will finish exactly the same as the previous one, as this row. Now I've done my next 2 rows, so now apart from the rows with the single crochets we've done 4 rows of main part of the back. So basically we've done 1 row with the shell stitches, then 1 row with only V-stitches, and again 1 row with the shell stitches and 1 row with the V-stitches. At the end of my excuse me, at the end of my round I finished by making half double crochet, and now into the first stitch, instead of making V-stitch as in stitch, we will start working first shell. So we need to make chain of 4 as a treble crochet, then chain of 2 as a chain 2 space. So basically we've done the 4th double crochet before chain 2 space and chain 2 by making chain of 6. Now into the same stitch we need to make 2 more treble crochets, 1 and 2, then chain of 3 to make a picot, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and another 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. So at the end of our round we need to make another three double crochets. So 2 double crochets, picot, 1 double crochet, and then slip stitch into the top of chain 4. So this is the last double crochet of group of 4 double crochets from the beginning of the shell. So we will need to make that 3 double crochets and the picot after the first 2 double crochets. So now we are going into the next V-stitch, and into that V-stitch we will work V-stitch by making double crochet, chain of 2, and then double crochet. Into the next V-stitch we need to repeat making a shell, so 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2, chain of 3 and slip stitch into the first chain, another 2 treble crochets, then chain of 2, 2 treble crochets, chain of 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and 2 more treble crochets. Now we are going to the next V-stitch, and we need to make V-stitch by making double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet. Now we need to repeat this pattern all the way around by making one V-stitch shell in next to the V-stitch, and then we need to repeat one more row with only V-stitches. So exactly as we done before. Okay, so far I've done the next 2 rows. So as I said, at the end of the row with the shell we need to make 2 double crochets, picot, 1 double crochet, and slip stitch into 4th chain. So you need to make sure that you've got chain 2 space as well. Then next row we need to start by making chain of 3, slip stitch into the chain 2 space, then chain of 3 as a double crochet, chain of 2, double crochet, chain of 2, V-stitch into the next V-stitch, then chain of 2, V-stitch into the center of the shell all the way around. And now, because last round with the shell we was starting by making a shell, now we will work slip stitch into the V-stitch, or I forgot that because I just started making a slip stitch into the chain of 2, I had to start first V-stitch by making chain 3. So at the end I cannot make half double crochet. I need to work the last chain of 2 and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain, so into the top of double crochet, and then now we need to make slip stitch into the V-stitch, chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then chain of 2 as a chain 2 space, and then double crochet. So into the next V-stitch we will work the shell. So as you can see, now we need to make shell stitch into the next V-stitch. So we are not making in the same line into the same stitch, but we are making onto the next stitch. So treble crochet, chain of 3, we need to make picot, then another 2 treble crochets, chain of 2 and another 2 treble crochets, chain of 3, slip stitch into the first chain and 2 more treble crochets. Now into the next V-stitch we will work V-stitch, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and into the next one we need to work shell. So as you can see, as I said before, now we are making our shell into the second V-stitch. Then next row again we need to make whole row by making only V-stitches, so V-stitch, chain 2, V-stitch, and next row, the row number 3, because this will be counted as the first one, then second row will be with V-stitches, and round number 3 we need to start exactly the same as this round by making chain of 6, 4 chains for a treble crochet and chain 2 space, then next 4 treble crochets, and then again next round we need to work only V-stitches. So keep going with this round, then make one more round of V-stitches, and then third round start exactly the same as we start the previous round with the shells, and then add one more row with only V-stitches. Okay, so now I'm finished working the rows with the shells. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows with the shells, and I finished my work by making row with only V-stitches. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows with V-stitches as well. So now we will start working single crochet in this row. So into the V-stitch we will work 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Then into the chain 2 space we need to work 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and again into the V-stitch 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3, then into the chain 2 space 2 single crochets. So in each V-stitch we need to work 3 single crochets, in each chain 2 space we need to work 2 single crochets all the way around, and then we have to repeat this pattern for the next row. So onto the next row we need to work 1 single crochet in each stitch. At the end of each row we need to make a slip stitch into the first single crochet and then chain 1 as a first single crochet. Now as you can see I marked 8 stitches, 2 just here, another 2 here, and then another 4 on the next side. What actually we need to do? As you can see we've got 1, 2 and 3 V-stitches. We have to mark first 2 stitches just where we've got beginning of our V-stitch. Then this is the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5th. We need to mark 5th stitch as well, and the same on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, third V-stitch. We need to mark this stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th here. So we have to fold our bag and mark both stitches. What we need to do now: chain 1 as a first single crochet after the slip stitch, then we need to work single crochet in each stitch until first stitch, which is marked. So the last single crochet we will do 1 stitch next to the stitch marker, so basically just here. So this is the last 1 stitch, and now from here to this one we need to skip all those stitches, but we have to work chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we are going straight to the next stitch just behind the second stitch marker, and we need to work single crochet in each stitch again. Now we need to work single crochet until we will have the next stitch marker. Then from the last single crochet we need to work chain of 5 and next single crochet just behind the second stitch marker, then all the way around, and we have to repeat it on the opposite side. So just here 1 single crochet here, then chain of 5 and next single crochet over there. The same here, last single crochet here, then chain of 5 and next over there. So we need to make a hole. Later on we will be putting a strap inside that hole, but after that we will work few more rows. Now finish this row and then I will show you what we need to do next. I've done my round to the end, so I've got 4 chain 5 spaces, and now we need to make 2 more rows of single crochets. So 1 single crochet in each stitch. We have to start by making chain of 1 as a single crochet and then single crochet in each stitch until we will have the first chain 5. So into the chain 5 we will work 5 single crochets. So we have to keep the same number of stitches as we start making row of single crochets. So 5 single crochets into the chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Then we have to continue working 1 single crochet in stitch to the next chain of 5, and then again we need to make 5 single crochets into that chain space, and we need to continue this pattern all the way around, and then we have to make 1 more row of 1 single crochet in each stitch. So after that we will work 1 more row. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of single crochets. I've done my last 2 rows, so at the end we need to make a slip stitch into the first chain and fasten off cut the yarn. Now we will need to start working on the straps. We will do 2 of them. one for one side and one for the another. So our work we need to start by making slip knot and then chain of 100. So 100 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we need to continue until we will have 100. I've done my 100 chains already, so now we have to start working single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here we've got first one, we are going into the second, and we need to work single crochet and then in each chain stitch to the end of our row. So we should have 99 single crochets at the end. So now we need to continue making one single crochet in each chain to the end. I am at the end of my first row, so I've done single crochet in each chain stitch, and now we will start next row. So chain 1, and then we need to start making one single crochet into the first single crochet and then one single crochet in each stitch to the end of our row. And then we need to continue working in this way until we will have 6 rows in total. So now we are making second row, and then we have to add 4 more rows of single crochet in each stitch. I've done my 2 straps already, so now we need to sew it to the back. I've done it, my first one already, and I add flower. So if you would like to add the same flower as I will leave the link to the gardenia flower from my channel. You can watch the tutorial and make exactly the same. Also you can see the other tutorials with the flowers. So I've got big roses, small roses, and few different as well. So let's go to my channel and have a look what kind of flower you can make as well. So now I will show you exactly how we need to make the strap, and our back will be done. So now we are going to the first chain 5 loop, and by wrong side we need to put one end of the strap and then fold like that. Now we need to start sewing through all stitches to make sure that everything will be done properly. So I am making it twice, from right to left and from left to right. And then at the end we need to make small knot and one more, and now we have to make another end of the strap. So now we need to make sure that our strap is not twisted, and we are going again with the wrong side, and we need to make exactly the same. So we need to fold the side and then sew it to the other part, and basically that's it. So all parts of our bag we've got done. So I will be finish it later, and our bag is done. So thank you for staying with me to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a good evening.